Hey y'all, so today I'll be showing you how you can make this Carnival themed snow globe. So today I'll be starting with this vinyl. I cannot quite remember where I got it from because I've had it for over a year now, but I will be using Tipsy Magnolia's 24-ounce snow globe. I'm going to take the lid off, and it also comes with a plug inside. And then I will be using Adhesive Apothecary's fizz solution, and there are two different kind of color blues. And then I'm also using this Popsicle handle. I'll have all of this linked below, and then we're also going to be sculpting, so I'm going to be using super Sculpey clay. So the first thing I want to do is trim off my vinyl. Since it is a 24-ounce snow globe, it's not going to line up the same way a skinny tumbler would, so it will kind of be tampered a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and put my snow globe on my Krafty Kell hand turner. I'll have that link below also because I feel like it helps get your vinyl on super easy. So after I have my vinyl cut, I'm going to fold a piece back as usual just so I can make sure that everything is lined up correctly. And then I'm going to take the rest of the back off so that I can start laying my vinyl down. Again, it's not going to line up the same way it would on a skinny tumbler, so I do want you to keep that in mind that it's going to curve all the way and you will have to go back and trim some. But the thing that I love about the Krafty Kell hand turner is that it's on a wheel, so while you're applying your vinyl, it spins with you and it just makes the process so much easier. After you have it all laid down, you can start trimming it. So I did trim what was left over after it overlapped, and then I went back and I started trimming the top so that everything could line up correctly, because since it is tampered, there was a lot that was sticking out of the top. So you do want everything to still line up correctly just so that, you know, it still looks like it's how it should be when you apply vinyl to the bottom half of a tumbler. And then after I had that trim, I decided that I wanted to add some striping tape. So I'm using, well, you don't have to use striping tape. I just cut vinyl into stripes. You can use striping tape if you like striping tape. However, I like vinyl because I feel like it sticks better. So I'm going to add vinyl to the top half, above the vinyl, and also below the vinyl. And then once that's done, that's all the vinyl that I'm putting on. So that's how it turned out. I think this vinyl is super cute, but before we go any further, make sure you like and subscribe. More to come. So the next thing that I want to do is paint my popsicle handle just so that it can dry while we finish working on the tumbler. So I'm using this collagen color from Adhesive Apothecary called Autumn Spice. I absolutely love this color. I'm so excited for fall. I'm so excited to use this. I feel like I use this a lot, like between fall and winter. But I absolutely love this color. And then as you can see, it's really pigmented, so you don't need that much. It glided right onto the popsicle handle. I mean, I really didn't use that much, and it has so much coverage. It's so good. I feel like everybody should be using it. It's a paint primer and adhesive all in one, so you can use it not only for painting but also applying glitter to your cups also. So yeah, I highly recommend you getting some. And then she has so many different collagen colors on her website, so definitely check that out. I have a link below. And then after I had that done painting, and it also dries really fast. So after I got done painting it, I set it to the side so that I could finish drying while I finished working on the snow globe. So that's the color. This is how it turned out. I absolutely love this color. Again, I'm so excited to use this for fall. So while that's drying, we're gonna go ahead and fill up the snow globe. I'm using both of these different blues from Adhesive Apothecary. They're like fizzes, not fizzes, like snow basically. So one was from a beach bundle, and well, no, they're both from the beach bundle, but I just decided to combine them, and then I added in a little more of their solution. The solution is from, it's Pretty Personal. It's the same solution from Adhesive Apothecary's website, just in a different bottle from It's Pretty Personal. But I just combined all of that, and then I'm going to add it all into the inside the snow globe. I feel like this blue is really, really pretty too. So and it matches the vinyl perfectly. So I'm just going to start filling it up. I do have an extra tip from Adhesive Apothecary, and I feel like the bottles and the tips always make filling up snow globes super easy. So yeah, you can find those on the website. I always just use her bottles, and I don't use syringes. But she also has syringes on her website also, and then she has extra tips too, so you can find that on the website also. And then after I had it completely full, I'm gonna go ahead and plug it. So that's how it turned out. I made sure I cleaned the bottom of like my lid too while I was plugging it, just so that there wasn't like leftover residue of anything. But that's how it turned out. I feel like this is so pretty. I really love blue already, but like I feel like everything is just going together so well. So that's how it turned out. So now we're going to start sculpting. I have my Kell custom tumbler stand, and you can like adjust it out. So I put my cup on that, and then I'm going to start sculpting a pretzel basically. So super Sculpey is exactly what it sounds like. It's super easy to use, it's super easy to condition. And then I just took like a chunk out and I start rolling it out. It depends on how big you want your pretzels, how much clay you use, but I used about a good corner of a good chunk of the corner just to make my pretzel, and then I start rolling it out. You do want to roll it out pretty long just so that you can get like that pretzel look, because you do have to twist it and stuff such as like as a pretzel. So just do that, roll it out really far. And then I kind of kept playing with it just to see how I want it to loop. And then I also tied it in the middle also. So I mean, just keep that in mind. It just depends on how big you want your pretzel. and just how much clay you use basically. But I mean, after you have that figured out and have it rolled out to the length you need it, you can start twisting it. I'm trying to recreate it as it looks on the tumbler, which is what you always want to do if you're sculpting based off of a design that you're using. So I kind of started twisting that. I twisted it in the middle, and then I also wanted to leave some out on the ends also, so that's what I did. And then it stays pretty good also. The structure stays. So after I had it twisted the way that I wanted to, I'm going to go ahead and place it on one of my racks, and I'm going to bake it at 275 for 15 minutes per the instructions on the back. I always use my oven in my house. Polymer clay is not, it doesn't have toxic chemicals. It's safe to use in your oven. And I also have like other little ovens too, but I just prefer to use my oven in my house. And then after I let that cool down, well, while it's cooling down, I'm going to go ahead and apply my handle on. So I'm just using hot glue as usual, just so that it can hold temporarily until I epoxy it. I feel like hot glue has a really strong hold, so I never have to worry about anything falling out. And then you want to make sure that everything does line up correctly and is pressed in really good against your cup. After you have it pressed in, you can go ahead and paint the end of it like wood. So I'm using this new gloss from Sculpey called UV gloss, and then I'm also using some brown alcohol ink. While I'm painting it, the UV gloss seals it in and also adds some shine to it. So while you're painting it, you do want to just paint like in lines so that it can get like that wooden stick look. But what I love about UV gloss so much from Sculpey is that it seals in alcohol ink. So if you ever use alcohol ink, you know that sometimes it's really hard to seal in, especially if you're using like spray paint, because if you use too much, it'll make it the paint won't stay. It'll start, if you spray too much, like it'll literally start dripping off, if that makes sense, if you ever had that done before. But the thing that I love about UV gloss is that when I mix it in with the alcohol ink, it's sealing it completely, and it's also make it dry fast. So you'll see here when I start painting the pretzel also what I'm talking about. It just helps the process so much more, that it's really sealing it in while you're working with it, because I know many people have had issues with alcohol ink, especially when you're using that to paint. But so after you're done painting your the popsicle, you can let that dry, and then we're going to start on the pretzel now that it's cooled down. So again, I'm using foil just to kind of be able to hold my alcohol ink while I'm painting it. So I'm going to use alcohol ink again, same color, UV gloss again, and then I'm just going to use my finger this time to paint instead of a paintbrush, because I just feel like it helps it go on faster. It's so much easier that way, and then it also gives it more of that authentic pretzel look, because if you were using a paintbrush, I feel like it would kind of give it those lines again, like those brush strokes, so you don't want that. So I'm just going ahead, I mixed the alcohol ink again with UV gloss, and then I'm just spreading it around the pretzel. Yeah, and then just you want to go ahead and go throughout the entire pretzel. Just make sure that you get everywhere. If you do have like some spots that are really hard to get, you can go back in with the paintbrush, but I did that like after I had everything completely painted and sealed in. So yeah, just continue to paint the entire thing, paint the front and the back, and then that's how it turned out. As you can see, the UV gloss has completely sealed the alcohol ink, like I said before, so nothing is coming off. It's completely sealed, and it's glossy also. So then after it gets done drying, which it dries pretty fast with the gloss, I'm going to go ahead and put it on my cup. Same thing again with the hot glue, just because I feel like it holds pretty good temporarily until I epoxy it, and you want to place it wherever you want it at. You can place it at an angle, place it straight on, however you want, but that's how I did it. And then after it's on, I'm going to go back in. I want to add like some sprinkles, I guess. So with my Kell custom adjustable stand, I put it back all the way just so that I can get it prepped, just so that I can get everything on correctly without struggling to, have it placed correctly, just to make it easier. So I'm even using the UV gloss again, just as an adhesive, I guess. And then I'm going to put the sprinkles on. It does dry really, really fast, so keep that in mind. Put your sprinkles on, and then I started going back over all of the sprinkles with the UV gloss again, just so that will be sealed in, also have a glossy look. And then you want to go everywhere with it. I'm using a paintbrush just so that I can make sure I get like all the creases and stuff, and then you want to let that dry. While it's drying, I decided that I wanted to make a drip as usual. So regular epoxy again, cornstarch or flour, and then I added in some yellow acrylic paint, and then I also use that autumn spice cauldron color again, just so that I can get like a darker kind of like a mustard kind of color of epoxy. And then I'm going to go around my entire top of my lid with that, just for the drip. My drip was really, really thick, so I kind of went back after I got done putting it all around the rim with my heat gun a little bit, just so that I can pound it down. And then this is how it turned out. I do have to epoxy it a few more times just so that everything's completely sealed in and smoother. But that's how the entire thing turned out. I hope everyone loved this tutorial. I hope you get into sculpting more and using 3D parts. And thank you for watching.